all this talk about movies and shit, you know, I just I wanna go on a little tirade about it. Something that's fucking disgusting to me, really, is the remakes in Hollywood, especially nowadays. And it seems like for the past 2 or 3 years, the remakes that are coming out in Hollywood are increasing in number until every movie, and I think they're going to go until every movie that's released in a year is going to be a remake, a story that we've heard before. You know what I mean? So, and I think it all started with when they remade Psycho. They remade Psycho, and the remake was a horrible remake. You know, Psycho, the original Psycho with Anthony Hopkins, by Alfred Hitchcock. It was good, okay. You know, and I don't think that they added anything that the original didn't have in spades. You know, I really think that.
Remake That.
So, so when they remade Psycho, like they tried to make it artsy fartsy. I don't know. There was a scene in Psycho, right, where there was buffaloes running by for no apparent reason, and I think it was just. I thought it was a horrible movie as it stands alone, and if it didn't have the original, the name recognition of Psycho, then I think it would have flopped, and I think Hollywood should have stopped at that point, but they didn't. Okay. And they picked on I think they picked on the horror genre, right? They picked on the horror movies, and started remaking horror movies. And, I think it's because, horror movies are lowbrow entertainment. You know what I mean? They're kind of like, the horror movies aren't known for winning Emmy awards and, Oscars.
I like to get fucked up too.
Right. And maybe they figured no one would care. It's just a horror movie, people, and, we can screw them over, right? And and I think, they made horror movies like they remade horror movies like A Nightmare on Elm Street, Halloween, Friday the 13th. I mean, how are you going to remake these kinds of movies where the storyline is so established already? It has been established. I mean, it was just a couple of years, okay, when Freddy vs. Jason came out, and then 2 years after that, they remade A Nightmare on Elm Street and Freddy and Jason, and it's kind of like, oh, it's just so convoluted. And it's not without a doubt, okay, that horror fans wanted to see more of Freddy and Jason, okay, but why didn't they just even make a sequel to Jason versus Freddy? That was a new storyline that hadn't been explored yet. Is that all we get? Is just one Jason versus Freddy? I mean, figure it out.
It's not okay.
And the reason this conversation came up is because last night I was watching a remake myself. I was watching the Wolfman remake with Anthony Hopkins, Benicio del Toro, right? And it wasn't a bad movie, okay? It really wasn't. It had a great storyline. Great action sequences. It really kept me interested. The climax was a surprise because it wasn't in the original Wolfman done by Lon Chaney way back when. Okay, but why did they have to call it the Wolfman? Why did it have to be a remake of Universal's um werewolf story? That I don't get. They could have called it Lunatic, or they could have called it Werewolf, um, Werewolf Madness, or some bullshit like that. They could have came up with a new title. And it's just, you know, and now it's getting so confusing, so convoluted that they're even making sequels of the remakes. Okay? Sequels of the remakes, people.
It's not okay.
It's really not okay. Because, we have, you know, which sequel are you talking about now? Are you talking about number 2 of the original series or number 2 of the remake series? And I think it's really laziness on the part of Hollywood just to, slap a remake on. And we're getting remakes, that of movies that weren't even good in the first place. Okay? They're remaking Footloose, people. They're remaking Dirty Dancing. Okay? I think in this case, once is enough for movies like these, honestly. Honestly. Remaking Footloose.
Blah, blah, blah.
I know, we didn't have to experience that. We really didn't. So, like, say anyone, and I mean anyone that works in the movie industry, if you're listening to my show right now, I want you to pull out a pen and pad, and I'm going to give you a few tips on how to come up with original idea.
Remake that.
Okay? This is, I'm serious. I'm dead serious. Okay? Because I know creative writing. I took a class in City College for creative writing, honestly. So there you go. City College is where it's at. I'm serious. City College has some real knowledge, okay? They have some real knowledge, and they have real books at City College. And I think it's really underrated.
I like to get bugged up, too.
But, okay. Is everyone have their notepad out ready? Okay, great. This is now. See, we're gonna start with an idea that's already out there. Like this month, they're releasing Fright Night. Okay, so let's start with the story of Fright Night. Okay, now Fright Night is a vampire movie, and it's about a regular guy, and he has a girlfriend, and he lives with his mom, and next door moves in a vampire. Okay, and so the vampire wants the guy's girlfriend. Are you with me? Now, we've all seen Fright Night, so, this is it's a pretty, generic story, right? It's catered to the young people of America. So the vampire wants the guy's girlfriend for his own, because she's like, so hot or whatever. So, okay, let's take that idea, right, and let's spin it off. Let's spin it off into a new and original idea. Okay? Instead of a vampire living next door, make it a cannibal living next door. Right? No, that's not too bad. That's still a horror movie. Cannibals are evil. Cannibals are scary. Ask Silence of the Lambs, And I don't know why a lot of you are saying, well, cannibals have already done. Look at Silence of the Lambs. But how many times have we seen vampires in movies? Vampires and werewolves and zombies have been done to death, but still, there are stories to be told in these kind of genre movies,
Blah, blah, blah.
right? So we have a cannibal living next door instead of a vampire. And now, let's say instead of, a residential area, let's make it a business. Okay? A business.
What's a hello?
And let's say the cannibal owns a record store, right? And now it's shaping up into a new story, a new idea. Oh, how refreshing, isn't it?
Blah, blah, blah.
So the cannibal, what's up with the cannibal? Maybe she's looking to make the local hot boy her next meal. How would that be?
When my Gucci Gucci was only a Gucci Gucci.
And his girlfriend tries to save him. And his girlfriend tries to save him through the whole movie. Now, it sets up the whole movie. Instead of having a male hero, we have a heroine who is trying to save her boyfriend from the cannibal at the record store. Or make it even more interesting than that. The cannibal lady at the record store wants, the boyfriend to be a cannibal also. And there you go. A new original idea instead of stories that we have heard before. Complete, and spinned off from an original idea that we know so well at Fright Night, right? We love Fright Night. Fright Night. Yeah, we all love Fright Night. We know, but hey, tell us a story that we haven't heard before, and that's exactly how you do it. I just want to say thank you to City College for teaching me creative writing, teaching me techniques on how to entertain and impress the downtrodden of our society. But that's really what I have to say on remakes. Honestly, it's freaking retarded how the remakes are just, getting out of hand, I mean, every blockbuster, we have Conan the Barbarian, and it's fucking disgusting, really. I mean, if they want to introduce it to a new generation, the parents can buy the kid the movie that's on DVD and say, hey, there's the movie. There, that's what I watched as a kid. Honestly, but the remakes and...
Oh my God.
Yeah. So there you go, Hollywood.
Remake that.
Yeah.